got started in art when I was a child, actually, because I painted a lot and won some contests in school. But then I put everything on hold because everybody has to earn a living. And then about 10 years ago, I just decided that I have to do this. I started showing 10 years ago in my studio, and I've invited the community always, and it's just been so enjoyable doing this. When I trained in New York, we had consultants to the medical field for instructors, and we had to learn the origin, insertion, and function of every muscle of the human body, and we had to build up the human figure through from the skeleton outward. And the reason we were taught to do this was so that when we painted the human figure, we would understand the anatomy. And by understanding the anatomy, you automatically paint it correctly. So today, I may not remember exactly what the name of the muscle is, but I know there's a little bump there, and I'll paint it. One of the hardest things in painting is knowing what to leave out. So when I paint a painting, it's in my head for a while, or I see something and I think about it a few days, and then I paint it. And most books will say sketch it out first. I cannot do that. If I sketch things out first, it kills the spirit of my paintings. And this is why one has to be attuned to how one paints naturally. It's different for everybody. And when you're a student, you have to learn a certain way, and then you can digress from that as you mature. We each have a gift to offer, and I think people want to connect with art, and they want to connect with an artist, and they want to be a part of that. And they're busy with their professions, and this is like, I like to think that art is like a little island of peace in their lives. And sometimes it's a window in their house because it's a way to look out and see something else. I think we're so busy living that we forget that there's this other part of our minds that needs to be fed. I think it's very important to sort of escape by looking at a piece of art, and it quiets people. It's a source of peace and stillness. It's very strange. I have more ideas than I have time to paint. And sometimes I take a sketchbook to the library, and I will. Anybody who sits still too long gets drawn, and so then I take the little drawings home and enlarge them, and then I frame them, and there they are. And they look like every man. They look like caricatures of everyone, of ordinary people. People think it's strange that I do watercolors as well as oils, because they're the opposite in technique. In oils, you keep adding color on top, and you put your highlights on last, which are your lightest colors. And in watercolor, you work the opposite. You have to preserve your whites, and so you start with what's going to be light, and then you paint around it. You paint the light things first, because you can keep getting it darker, but you can't get it lighter, because that's what's tricky about watercolor. So you have to develop a lot of techniques, and then it's like a language. When you learn the alphabet, you learn the words, you can write the sentences. And I have this belief that there is, I don't know if I should say a painting for every person or a person for each painting, because when the right person comes along, they will like that painting. I can have a painting for 5 years, and I know it's a good painting, so I'm going to leave it there. And then someone comes along and they just love it and they buy it. But I am careful not to paint to sell, because then the spirit is gone. If you paint only to sell, it becomes more like illustration, and there's no heart in the painting. And what people connect with is that spiritual level. People connect with something in the painting, and it's amazing. They will say things that sometimes I was thinking when I was